Hi everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day, and today I'm just going to be talking to you guys. I don't have a book review or a book haul or a tag video. I just want to be talking about a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a while. I think I might have mentioned it in a couple of my reviews, but I wanted to dedicate a whole video to it, and it is critical reviews, why I like them, and why I do them, I guess. So yeah, there's not much planning behind this video, so I'll probably just be rambling. Okay, so I guess first things first, I'll tell you what I think critical reviews are. To me, critical reviews don't always have to be negative reviews. You don't have to dislike a book. Critical reviews are just any kind of review where you point out things that you had issues with in the book and you justify it, you explain why you had issues, why you might have disliked the book, why you might have disliked specific aspects of the book. And the key thing about critical reviews is that you always have to have legitimate justification behind your issues, behind your complaints. And I love critical reviews. I appreciate them a lot more than I do praise reviews, and praise reviews are just reviews where you gush about a book. And I wanted to talk about critical reviews because I don't see a lot of them on BookTube, because I feel like on BookTube, people only review books that they really love, because the books that you really enjoy are the books that you usually have a lot to say. And it's a really different environment to me because I started out as a book blogger. I created my book blog in 2010 and I was in like the 6th grade. So I was really young when I first started reviewing books. I kind of basically just said, I like this book. I didn't like this book. I was just getting into the young adult genre. I had spent so much time reading all these other book blogs, and I've grown with my book blog. Book bloggers aren't afraid to post negative reviews. There are some book bloggers that are just notorious for shredding books apart and nitpicking at like a billion different things, and that's something you never ever see on BookTube. On book blogs, when you post a critical review or a negative review, even if the review is for a book that you really love and the poster didn't enjoy it, the thing you say, the common courtesy in the comments, is to say, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't enjoy this book, I really loved it, I hope your next read is better, and that's it. That's where it ends. But on BookTube it's different, I guess, because you're actually seeing the person saying this. If I'm writing a written review, I don't restrain myself, I hold nothing back, and I just talk about the book, no matter how negative or critical it is. And the only thing that I don't do, and I don't think anybody should ever do, is say, do not read this book, do not pick up this book is trash. Because no, that is not what a book review should be. What I've realized is that since I started book reviewing in 2010, I've grown as a reader, but I've also grown as a reviewer, and now it's just a part of me. I read books way more critically now than I have ever done before, and I think it just comes with reviewing, because as I read, I just immediately think of things that I might mention in review. I will look for character development, which is my absolute favorite thing to read about in a book. I'll look for plot devices, or I'll notice how beautiful the writing is. I'll notice all these different things that I didn't do in 2010, and because of that, I think I've become a more critical reviewer, because I notice a lot more than I used to, and I always want to bring those things up. And the thing about critical reviews is that it's not always negative. I feel like critical has a really negative connotation to it that it doesn't necessarily always deserve, because just because I have critical things to say doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the book. I can enjoy a book while also pointing out some issues that I had with it or some faults that I found, and that doesn't mean I didn't like the book, because a lot of people can make the argument against critical reviewers saying, if you have so many things that you want to nitpick about, what's the point of reading if you don't even enjoy the book? And that's not the case for me. I can be a critical reader while still enjoying the book, and actually, in my opinion, in my experience, reading critically makes the reading experience much more fun for me. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. But I think critical reviews are such a tricky line, because as book lovers, we are all really sensitive to the books that we care a lot about. And so if someone is being less than enthusiastic or less than affectionate about a book that you are completely in love with, you might get offended and you might get angry, and that's scary to me because on my book blog, where there's no like-dislike ratio, it's just, oh, I'm sorry you didn't like the book, and that's it. But I feel like on BookTube it gets a lot more personal because you see the person who's saying these things, and it's so easy to just click a dislike button. And for me, that scares me because I don't always enjoy the books that I read. There are some books that I just don't like, and I still want to talk about them. I still want to make reviews on them, but I always hold myself back and I delete the footage because I don't want the fans of those books to hate me or to dislike my video or dislike me as a person just because I don't agree with their book taste. I don't know, it's just a really tricky thing for me. And I don't want to be making and uploading and spending so much time on content that other people aren't going to like or aren't going to enjoy. And so because of that, I restrain myself from making reviews about books that I don't like. I know Cass J. Tuck doesn't review books that she doesn't like. And I think that's a good idea, but I also kind of am against it because when you don't like a book and all you see are glowing and praising reviews for that book, you feel so alone in your opinion and you're like, am I missing out on something? Because what if there's another person who's watching all these 5-star reviews and thinking, I didn't like this book. Am I the only one who didn't like this book? I sometimes want to share my thoughts so that they can be like, okay, I'm not the only one who didn't like this book. Oh my god, besties. I guess my main point is that on BookTube I feel like there's a lack of critical reviews because booktubers usually only want to talk about books that they really, really enjoyed, and a lot of people say that the point of booktubing is to share your love of books, which I completely agree with, but for me it's also sharing my thoughts on books, and my thoughts on books aren't always going to be completely positive. And if they're not completely positive, should I feel hesitant to share those thoughts? Because I don't want to feel scared and I don't want to have to restrain myself in fear of getting negative reception to whatever video or review that I make. I don't know if I'm making sense, and I don't know if I sound like a completely terrible person. I really like critical reviews, and I will continue reviewing critically because I think critical reviews are so much more insightful. The reality of reading is that you are not always going to love every single book that you pick up. But does that mean you shouldn't share those less than enthusiastic thoughts? As book lovers, we're always quick and eager to be excited about other people who love the same books as you, but on the other hand, we're also quick to dismiss and, in some cases, dislike people who have the opposing perspective. Critical reviews, good thing or bad thing? I think critical reviews are really great as long as they remain respectfully critical, and that means that I do not condone book bashing. I would never say, at least I hope I would never say in a video review, do not read this book, because that's discouraging someone from reading a book, and that is not what book lovers should be doing. As a book lover and a book reviewer, I don't want to shy away from or discourage opinions that are different from mine, because that's bound to happen, and I just want everyone to accept the fact that there are differing opinions, and I think that's fantastic, and we shouldn't be afraid to share our opinions on books as long as they're respectful. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, that's it for me. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and happy reading, because you can still read happily while reading critically. Yay! Okay, goodbye!